On a gray and damp Thursday morning, we welcome you to Doyle Field in Leominster, site of the 144th meeting between Fitchburg and Leominster. It is the rivalry, it is Thanksgiving here on FATV. Good morning and happy Thanksgiving to you at home. I'm John Gugerty, joined of course by Dan Bullock. Dan, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, John.
Very few places we'd rather be than here at Doyle Field. Maybe inside, but hey, you can't have everything you want in this life. We're very happy to be here with you on FATV, again getting ready for the 144th meeting, one of the most storied, historic traditions in high school football, not just here in North Central Massachusetts, but really all across the country. Dan, this Fitchburg-Leominster rivalry is something special.
Yep, this marks 130 years of Fitchburg and Leominster taking to the gridiron to do battle. 144 meetings, it's the 118th taking place around Thanksgiving. Of course, we've seen so many different spirited games over the years. We've seen these teams play in the playoffs. We've seen these teams play at Crocker, at Doyle. We saw them last year play at Fenway Park. This rivalry has been all over the place, all over the map, and it's been so entertaining to watch over the years.
It's been a tremendous rivalry, lately one that has favored the Blue Devils, it must be said. It was at one point pretty much tied up. It was, if I can check my thing here, we were pretty much even. It was 58-58-10 coming into the 2010s. Leominster has won 14 of the last 17 overall, 12 out of 13 on Thanksgiving. The Blue Devils, Dan, come in as heavy favorites here today.
Yep. You know, this kind of reminds me of the rivalry between Texas and Rice. I believe a past president once said, "Why does Rice play Texas?" Because it's a challenge. But there was a point where it's like, why does Rice play Texas? Because they're right over there. Yeah. I mean, there's a point where we're kind of in that other stage of the rivalry. Fitchburg plays Leominster because they're right over there, but now part of it, too, is why does Fitchburg play Leominster? Because it's challenging.
Because it's challenging, because it's the rivalry. It is one that is steeped in tradition, especially here on Thanksgiving Day. It is one of, if not my personal favorite day to broadcast here on FATV. We always get a kick out of coming here to Doyle Field. This is something we only get to do every other year when the rivalry is here at Doyle. It's a special place, Dan. It's a unique view for us. It's going to be a unique view for the fans at home. It's a beautiful place to play football, even on a less than beautiful day, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, whether the rivalry's at Crocker, whether the rivalry's at Doyle, you're always going to have a great atmosphere. You're always going to have great views, a great facility to host a great game.
Folks, we absolutely encourage you, if you are in the area, come on down here to Doyle Field, just off Route 13 on Priest Street. Plenty of parking available, plenty of good seats still available. It is, I'm not going to lie, kind of an ugly day. It's gray, it's wet, it's going to be both gray and wet, but it's football weather. It's November, it's Thanksgiving. This is what we sign up for. There's plenty of stuff to do, plenty of food available. You see the concession stand there. And again, we absolutely encourage you to come on down to Doyle Field in Leominster if you are able. If, however, you are not able, or if you know anyone who might be a little bit further afield than Fitchburg or Leominster who wants to tune in for this 144th meeting of the rivalry, we of course encourage you, go to fatv.org, or FATV's programming is available in beautiful high definition on all of these services. You can get it through the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store, your Fire TV, Roku, or Apple TV devices, and again, of course, streaming online at fatv.org.
Yep. See Mayor Sam Squalia coming in here to Doyle Field.
Plenty of dignitaries from both cities on hand, as is tradition. One thing, Dan, that we noticed that might be a bit of a break from tradition, usually, and we saw this even in the Chicken Bowl, teams wearing their colored uniforms. Fitchburg is actually going with all white today.
Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise in the warm-ups. I was just thinking to myself as I was watching them warm-up, I haven't seen them wear the whites this year because, of course, they only do the home games for the Red Raiders. But then you see them in the white uniforms. Wait a minute, that's not the normal garb on Thanksgiving. It's a little different, but after all, maybe the Red Raiders are thinking of trying something a little different. After all, they wore the red uniforms during the last Saturday. They wore the red uniforms during the flag football game, and they lost 45-0. They wore the red uniforms in the Chicken Bowl, and they lost 34-0. So maybe change the tides a little bit, try a different look.
it's entirely possible. Anything you can do to mix it up a little bit. Fitchburg will be looking to score their first points against Leominster as part of Rivalry Week. But of course, it's not just about the football today. Every part of Fitchburg High School was taking part, and our own Glenn Fossa had a chance to go down to the pep rally, get some interviews. We got a bit of a video look at that, so let's send it right now to Glenn Fossa at the pep rally.
2024 Thanksgiving right here at Fitchburg High School, Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse, all classes, seniors, juniors, sophomores, and freshmen participating in the pregame rally. Follow us in. Principal John Braga, Dr. John Braga, great to see you. Of course, the season 2024 going into the Thanksgiving Day game. You have to have a few words for your team.
We're just excited about the opportunity. It's a huge tradition, and we're looking for the win. But either way, we're going to go out and have a great time. So go Red Raiders.
We are at the field house at Fitchburg High School. Everybody is amped up. The seniors won the yelling contest, so I think the seniors are particularly amped up, ready for the football game. I mean, we've seen a great resurgence in the Red Raider football team. We won the last 2 games. I'm feeling confident.
Looking district-wide at, underclassmen coming up through the ranks and the meaning of today.
Yeah, absolutely. Culture and climate is a big piece for school. School spirit is a big piece, right? So we try to get all the district schools involved in Thanksgiving pep rallies. Yesterday we had a great day at Rheingold. The kids came down from the high school, the band and the football team, and they came and celebrated at Rheingold. Today we're up here with all the high school, which is great to see on a half day. How many people showed up for the big day before Thanksgiving game? We have awesome excitement going on today with a tug of war happening between teachers and staff. In addition to the band playing, the cheerleaders, it's just a great day, and it really represents who Fitchburg is and what we do here. So we're excited about the game tomorrow. Fitchburg is going to have a victory. I predict the score is going to be 21-3, Fitchburg.
As the Thanksgiving Day game is just upon us, and Fitchburg High School Athletic Director Todd Robbins with us. This is a great, great time for the district, of course, but as Athletic Director, a special role for you.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, obviously the history of this rivalry, right, and all of the different pieces that go together. When you're the 9th person to hold the position in the long and storied history of this institution, it's incredible. But really, this whole week, right, starting from last week where you get the sub-varsity teams together and then the first flag football meeting, then you roll right into breakfast with the bands, the Rheingold rally yesterday, which was incredible. This whole week just has something rolling off the pep rally, and then it's a 10 a.m. kickoff of the Thanksgiving Day Classic. It can't get any better than that, and that's what makes this week awesome.
And it is that time again. The rivalry continues some 144 years into the Thanksgiving Day game between Fitchburg High School and Leominster High. With me, head coach Paul DiGeronimo, Fitchburg High School. Paul, it's been a good season, good trainings, and we're looking forward to the game.
We're looking forward to the game. We're at where we want to be right now. We've made a lot of progress. Still have a lot of work to go, but we picked up a couple wins towards the end, and kids have a different bounce in their step, so that's good. Happy for the coaches and the players right now because of that.
Attitude is everything, and of course bringing that game to the field against Leominster will be very important.
Well, absolutely. You have to play with confidence, but you also have to play with composure. It's probably the most emotional game on the schedule, and we have some young kids. We fortunately have some kids that played last year, and they can draw on their experience. Even though it was a different venue playing at Fenway, but they can draw on their experience and what it means, and that should help.
Certainly a historical moment last season to be at Fenway, and now we're going to Doyle, of course. But not necessarily home court advantage, but they'll bring their A game.
They have a very good team. They've had a lot of success this year, and we know the challenge ahead of us, but we'll be ready to go.
Our thanks to Glenn Fossa for that coverage at the Fitchburg High School pep rally. Glenn got a number of interviews. Dan just had a chance to speak with Sam Squalia, the mayor of Fitchburg. She's out here in Leominster at Doyle Field. Again, I'm John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Dan Bolak. We are here at Doyle Field in Leominster for the 144th meeting of the rivalry. It is Fitchburg versus Leominster here on Thanksgiving on FATV. Dan, again, I can't say it how many times. I am just so proud of the coverage we put together here on FATV, and this is one of the things I'm most thankful for every Thanksgiving, that we get the chance to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Be thankful to come down here to Doyle Field to cover what is one of the most prestigious games, not just in the area, not just in the region, not just in the state, perhaps in the entire country.
Certainly one of the most historic rivalries in all of high school football across the United States. And speaking of being thankful, we actually had some students at Fitchburg High School who told us what they're thankful for, and we want to show you that right now. So here's some kids from FHS telling us what they're thankful on this Thanksgiving Day.
Hello, Fitchburg. I am here with
Eddie Linehan.
Quinn.
last name.
Ogier. Lucky Her.
Christian Velasquez.
Cadence Pierce.
Javier.
Last name too.
Marte. Isaac Yang.
Lex Joseph.
Mr. Sochoka.
Jamal Laracuente.
Olivia Reed.
Michael Hill.
Mr. Coco.
Barry Walker.
Matt Lamy, assistant principal at Fitchburg High School.
Mr. Thompson, superintendent.
Dr. Braga.
So, who do you think is going to win the Fitchburg Leominster Thanksgiving game?
What kind of question is that? Fitchburg High School, hello, we're the champions.
Fitchburg High, all the way.
Leominster for sure. Fitchburg.
Leominster.
Well, I'd like to say Fitchburg, but I'm sorry, guys. I think Leominster's going to take it.
Definitely Leominster. As much as I like the Fitchburg football team, I don't think it's happening.
Leominster. Straight up Leominster.
How do you celebrate Thanksgiving?
I spend time with my family.
Mostly my mom and I go over to my grandmother's house and she makes amazing meals.
Go around with my family.
I'm going to be with my family.
This year I'm about to fly out to my other family, go eat out over there.
Thanksgiving I celebrate it with my family.
I usually go to Long Island, New York with my family, and they hate me.
My family has a nice get-together.
Having dinner with my wife, my two kids, and my mom and my dad.
My family. My family.
With family.
With family.
Just me and my immediate family.
My dad's side of the family, we've got a big family.
My whole family gets together.
Usually I either do a Friendsgiving with my friends, or I end up going with my family. We
eat turkey. An Asian-styled cultural food.
I eat a lot of food.
Going to eat with family. That's about it.
Food, and a bit more food.
Eating a lot of food.
My birthday's kind of on Thanksgiving, so we celebrate my birthday and, yeah, Thanksgiving as well at my house.
Watch football and sit back and enjoy.
Well, on Thanksgiving, I dress up like a turkey and talk about politics with my divided family. Sometimes we watch football, and sometimes we sit quietly until someone cries.
What are you thankful for this year?
Well, I'm thankful for the students, the staff, and my colleagues here at Fitchburg High School.
To still be in the Fitchburg Public Schools, it's my favorite place to be.
Being here helping my students.
The journey I've made in esports.
We do give thanks, not only to the people that we love, but to God, because without God, we wouldn't be here.
My mother, she has helped me get out of some really dark times in my life, and I love her.
I'm thankful for my mama's fried chicken.
This female right here.
Each other.
Thankful to be the principal of Fitchburg High School, thankful for all the students and teachers here, and just thankful to be a Red Raider.
back here at Doyle Field in Leominster, getting ready for the 144th meeting of the rivalry. It's Fitchburg versus Leominster on Thanksgiving Day here at FATV. We're just a little bit over 10 minutes away from kickoff, give or take. Of course, I'm John Gugerty, joined by Dan Bullock. Dan, again, we can't stress it enough, one of our favorite days of the year, Thanksgiving Day, even in less than optimal conditions, let's say.
Yeah, it's a little rainy, it's a little dreary, it's late fall weather. It's kind of par for the course for New England.
It's good football weather is what it is, and we should have a very entertaining football game. But before we go into that, we do want to take a few minutes here to remember a longtime board member of FATV who unfortunately passed away not too long ago. Ken Jones was part of FATV for decades. Obviously, folks who watched at home, he was a fixture of Inside Fitchburg. He was a fixture for us in the truck. I know, speaking personally, when I started volunteering with FATV, Ken Jones was in the truck at every production, every football game, always running audio. It was always a treat just to sit and chat with Ken and pick his brain, and it was a very sad thing for us when we lost Ken Jones. But we do have a video tribute to Ken Jones that we put together, and we want to show you that right now, again, as we honor the late Ken Jones here on FATV.
I discovered Fitchburg in 1958 when I was in the Signal Corps at Fort Devens. And if you can imagine what I discovered about Fitchburg in 1958, we shouldn't talk about all that. This is my lot. Since I knew Fitchburg, we came here, and I love it. It's my hometown.
Welcome to the second edition of Inside Fitchburg on a Motorcycle.
And back home, if you go down a street, all you see is the trees and the houses that are next to you on the street. In Fitchburg, you go down a street and it's up there you can see and over there you can see. It is a phenomenal place for beauty. And in comparison to the Middle West, it's gorgeous. And so are all the people, and I thank you very much.
Again, we pay tribute to the late Ken Jones, a fixture of FATV, a longtime member of our board of directors. You see there, recipient of the Boulder Award. Dan, Ken was invaluable here in Fitchburg.
Yep. I never had the chance to meet Ken, but he was a tremendous mind. Getting to go through the archives and getting to see him contribute over the years was so wonderful to watch, and I took a lot of pleasure in really putting together some of, not just that clip, but if you tuned in a little earlier before we went on air, you may have saw some of one of Ken's great creations, Inside Fitchburg on a Motorcycle, where he strapped a camera onto his motorcycle, drove around the city of Fitchburg, and said some wonderful things, made some wonderful comments about a city that he adopted as his own. And we are going to be airing that compilation, Inside Fitchburg on a Motorcycle, throughout the week. We've got some air times coming up on the public channel. Oh, and you could always watch on demand at fatv.org as well. Really just a tremendous, tremendous talent, and we are going to miss him, but boy, he contributed so much, and even his contributions still shine here at FATV even to this day.
Absolutely. Incredibly talented, incredibly knowledgeable. He was a fantastic resource, and we are sad for having lost him. But one thing that Ken did love was being in the truck, being there for the productions, for all of our remote events on FATV, including what we have here today as the Leominster Blue Devils take the field. Again, it is the 144th meeting of the rivalry, the 118th on or around Thanksgiving. I remember there were a few times, including one here in Leominster, I believe, where it was not exactly on Thanksgiving, but it was, it's always a treat. It's always one of the greatest days of the year. And Dan, with the weather being what it is, if you look at it as a football contest, anything can happen. Look, I'm not making any predictions today because I don't want to be wrong about stuff, but anything can happen, right?
Yeah, you know, we've got rain. I can actually see it start to tilt a little sideways.
The rain is picking up. We're very grateful to be under the branded FATV tent here on the away side of the field. So folks watching on FATV, you will unfortunately see the backs of our referees, but hey, that's fine. We know what signals look like. It's totally fine.
Yep, and Bill Goslin leading the referee crew today. He's one of the best, we all know that.
As we take a closer look even at the teams, we see here Fitchburg on the near sideline in their white jerseys with the gray pants. Leominster on the far side will be wearing mostly blue. They do have white trim. Blue Devils come in with a record 8-2 on the season. They're 3-0 in the Midwatch A. Fitchburg, however, Dan, they've won 2 games in a row. They're 2-8 on the year. They were 0-4 in Midwatch B, but the consolation games have been pretty friendly to them.
Yep, beat Worcester Tech 13-0 to break a 20-game losing streak, and then last time out on the 15th, that was a 34-13 win over Groton Dunstable. Zacchaeus Collins dominating on both sides of the ball. 132 yards he ran for on the ground and 2 scores on 16 carries. Had a game-high 12 tackles and closed the first half with a pick 6.
You see their head coach, Paul DiGeronimo, winner of the last 2 games, those being his first 2 victories as the head coach of Fitchburg High School football. Captains are just about ready for the coin toss at midfield. Our umpire, Dave Douglas, giving out handshakes, and now the players will shake hands themselves. Captains for the Red Raiders from left to right. We've got Masango Amate Nagabe, Ali Coheel, and Luis Santos.
Yep. And for the Blue Devils, Osiris Lopez, Xavier Cora, Gio DiMarzio, Antoine Lino Diego, and Aramis Reyes.
Obviously, Dan, with the weather being what it is, ball security is something these coaches are absolutely stressing for both teams. For Fitchburg, you know, you've got to get in there, got to strip that ball away. If this is a clean game, no turnovers, no penalties, that sort of thing, it favors the Blue Devils. Fitchburg is going to have to make things happen, make the Blue Devils make mistakes.
You mentioned a game that took place here in Leominster on a day before Thanksgiving. Leominster won the toss and will receive. And that game in 2018, which was held the night before because of brutal, bitter cold, that was a game in which Leominster actually chose not to throw the ball the entire game. It was Dave Palazzi's last game before stepping down as head coach to become the athletic director. He said he couldn't remember another time where he never called a passing play. And you wonder what kind of offense that the teams are going to go with today, knowing that the weather conditions are not the most conducive to passing. You look at Leominster, Cyrus Lopez, tremendous quarterback, 1,749 passing yards, 26 touchdowns through the air, but he's also run for 1,100 yards and 10 scores.
We are just about set for the national anthem, so we will step aside for that. It is the rivalry, and it is here on FATV.
The Leominster poet. Bob was a fixture on the Doyle Field sidelines as the first down marker for nearly 30 years. A good friend, Bob was inducted into the Leominster Hall of Fame the same year in South in 2012. He led the little crew. He was an avid golfer, achieved 2 holes in 1, and was a United States Air Force veteran. In August, our Blue Devil family lost Christopher Detnall. Chris excelled as 3 sports Leominster athlete in basketball, football, and baseball. He was inducted into the Leominster Hall of Fame both as an individual and as a member of the undefeated 1978 team. He held the ball for the winning kick in the Thanksgiving Day game. We lost another Blue Devil family member more recently in October, Joseph Quinn, a letter carrier and U.S. Army and National Guardsman of 40 years. Joe was a big part of the Blue Devil Nation. He was inducted into the Leominster Hall of Fame for both track and field and football, and served as a HOF board member for many years. We respectfully ask you to please join me in a moment of silence in remembrance of Bob, Chris, and Joe. Thank you. We ask you to please rise if able, remove your hats, face to the west in the big beautiful U.S. flag as we are America, with the playing of our national anthem. Performed today by the Leominster Marching Blue Devils under the direction of band director Robert Bergeron, assistant band director Sam Suave, drum majors Vincent Budd, and Adilius Zanalis.
Back here at Doyle Field in Leominster, it is the 144th meeting of the rivalry, Fitchburg versus Leominster, on Thanksgiving Day here on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined as always by Dan Bolak. Dan, I don't care if it's 30-something degrees, I don't care if it's pouring rain, there is electricity in the air. Let's go, let's play some football.
It's the rivalry. No matter how these two teams come in, you know it's Fitchburg, it's Leominster. Everything you need to make a great matchup is right there.
Red Raiders have won 2 games in a row. They look to carry that momentum here to Doyle Field. The Blue Devils again come in with a record 8-2 on the year. They actually lost their last game back on Friday, November the 15th. They lost to Zavarian 35-20. Before that, it had been 5 wins in a row for the Blue Devils, scoring at least 30 points in each of those contests. It is a very potent Leominster offense that will get the ball first.
They average 35 points a game.
Alan Hall will kick it away for the Red Raiders. And we are underway. That ball hits a Leominster up man, taken in at about the 35-yard line, and just diving forward is Ryan Ricker. Ricker had to go up and take that ball and then pretty much immediately went to the turf with it. So we'll see this Leominster Blue Devil offense. And Dan, you mentioned Osiris Lopez. He really is the straw that stirs the drink, so to speak. He's the man for Leominster.
Just a dominant player on offense and defense. He's got several interceptions to his name this season on defense as well. And Lopez is a guy who can get it all done. He's a junior, second-year captain, has multiple FBS offers.
26 passing touchdowns, 10 rushing touchdowns for the junior QB Osiris Lopez. He hands it off on first down here. Coming along the near side is Jadis Delgado. Delgado has himself a first down. So one play moved the chains. Great carry there for Jadis Delgado. Had 34 catches through nearly 700 yards. I think they'll call that, Dan, a forward pass, as Lopez did toss it forward. So make it 35 catches on the year now for Delgado. He's got 6 touchdowns as well. One of Osiris Lopez's favorite targets gets the Blue Devil offense underway with the first down. First and 10 Blue Devils. They're at their own 48. Ball spotted on the near hash mark. Lopez back to pass, going long. He's got Delgado. Passes there. He's got it. 10-5. Touchdown, Blue Devils. 2 plays, 6 points. Leominster wastes no time taking the lead.
When they met at Fenway last year, just took 1 play from scrimmage for the Blue Devils to get the first score of the contest. This time it takes 2 plays from scrimmage. And obviously, even with the driving rain, Osiris Lopez, no fear in throwing the ball. A deep one downfield. Delgado's beaten his man by a lot. All he's got to do is catch the ball. He does that. And that's touchdown number 27 on the year for Lopez through the air.
High snap. Elijah Rivera's extra point attempt is blocked. So a bit of a positive there for Fitchburg, but for Leominster, they will take it, Dan. 20 seconds in, 6 points on the board. 6-0 Leominster here in the first quarter.
You know, we saw Elijah Rivera do a little bit of other things besides special teams in the Chicken Bowl. And I remember you asked, why don't they just kick extra points? Well, there's been a little bit of inconsistency to that this season.
A little bit of a problem. I think it was Jerome Best who was able to get in front of that ball for the Raiders. Best has been all over the place for Fitchburg this season, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, the Raiders had that snap and everything dealt with quite well. And maybe the bad snap disrupted the timing a little bit, made it very difficult for the Blue Devils to get anything good off. Ione Powell has been kicking off in recent weeks for the Blue Devils. Rivera was originally the kickoff guy at the beginning of the season, but they've switched to Ione Powell, the older brother of one of two Powells on the team. Mika, a freshman, Ione is a sophomore. They're both linemen. Expect a line drive kick here.
There it is, line drive kick, bouncing into the hands of Jerome Best. He'll try the near sideline and be dragged down at about the 22-yard line. Not much of a return for Best as Zacchaeus Collins will lead the Fitchburg offense out onto the field. Paul DiGeronimo in his second season as head coach of the Red Raiders. Again, just picked up his first 2 victories as the Red Raider football coach in the Raiders' last 2 games. Those victories over Worcester Tech and Groton Dunstable. Fitchburg held their opponents to a combined 13 points in those 2 games, but of course they're facing a much more powerful offense, in case you haven't figured that out already.
Yep, 2 Division 5 teams they were able to handle quite easily, but now here's a Division 1 team that made it to the quarterfinals, losing to a team that's going to be playing at Gillette next week.
Motion to the left side. Zacchaeus Collins will keep it himself on first down. Try the left side. He's got a couple of yards, maybe. Raiders Dan had Masango Amante Nagabe, typically a linebacker, in as a tight end on that play. Try to run behind him to the left here. You see Amante Nagabe, number 55, throwing one of the blocks, but there were a couple of different players there for the Blue Devils, Michael Walsh and Aramis Reyes, getting in to tackle Collins.
Raiders know they need a bit of that extra oomph there on the line to try to contain this very powerful Leominster defensive line.
Officially no gain for Collins, so it'll be 2nd down and 10. Raiders go empty backfield here. Amante Nagabe goes in motion once again. Collins will keep. He'll try the middle this time. Not much there. Bounces it out to the left. He's across the 25 rather. Might have gotten a little bit. Call it gain of 2. It'll be 3rd and a long 8. Dan, tilt your ears for me. Is the Leominster band playing Hot to Go? I'm pretty sure they're playing Hot to Go.
I'm so bad at recognizing songs off of a band. Yeah.
That is definitely Hot to Go.
I mean, our last broadcast, I admitted I don't know what Purple People Eater sounds like, so.
That's, I mean, given that Fitchburg cheers it every single game, that's impressive. 3rd down and 8 for the Red Raiders. Already trailing in a touchdown here, just barely 2 minutes into this one. Motion to the near side comes Lucas Savard. Collins will roll to the near side, throws for Savard, passes high and incomplete. Jerome Best was there as well. See Best gesturing toward the referee. He thinks he wanted, I don't know, maybe pass interference or an illegal contact flag. But no marker on the field. Fitchburg will have to kick it away.
And considering where that ball ended up, there was really no way that Best was going to catch that, whether he was obstructed or not.
It's not really a catchable ball. But Best wanted the penalty nonetheless. Allen Hall on to punt it away for the Red Raiders. Looks like Delgado is back to return. This is a short kick along the near side. Takes a good bounce for the Red Raiders, though. That ball looked like it was going to be out of bounds before it got to the Fitchburg 40-yard line. Instead, it's down at Leominster's 38. A great roll for the Red Raiders.
I mean, that was a perfectly executed punt there. Obviously, they wanted to avoid kicking it to Delgado because they've already seen what he can do. Kick to the near side boundary and just perfectly bounces and rolls parallel to the sideline, never goes out of bounds. Eventually comes to a stop just around the 38. They'll give him to the 38-yard line. It's a 36-yard punt for Allen Hall.
Great bounce, sets the Leominster offense a little bit further back. They weren't exactly troubled by field position on their last drive. One play got a first down, and the next play got them into the end zone. We'll see what Osiris Lopez and his Blue Devils can do here. Handoff on first down, going to the right side. This is Xavier Cora's first touch of the game. Cora's across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. Gain of 5 for him. We'll call it 2nd down and 5. Isaiah Solomon had the hit for the Red Raiders.
Cora has been the lead running back for the Blue Devils this season. He's got just under 1,100 yards. He was the team leader in rushing yards until Lopez passed him last week, or the last contest against Zavarian, rather. He gets about a 5-yard gain this time to the 43-yard line.
9 touchdowns as well for Cora. He's still in the backfield here on 2nd and 5. Leominster working from the pistol. Lopez quick throw to the far side is complete. That's Ryan Ricker the catch. He breaks a tackle. He's down the far sideline. Ryan Ricker with one man to beat. Ryan Ricker is gone. Stop me if you've heard this before, Dan. 2 plays, 6 points.
That's the other dominant receiver for Leominster, Ryan Ricker, with his 11th catching touchdown of the season. He just had to make one man miss, and he was gone.
Second play of the last drive was a deep bomb. This one was just a quick hitter to Ricker. Breaks out of 1 tackle, avoids 1 dive, turns on the Jets, and no one can catch him. Touchdown, Blue Devils.
Of course, to make things annoying for Raider fans, Ricker and Delgado, well, Delgado's a senior, but Ryan Ricker's a junior, so he still has 1 more year of plaguing Red Raiders.
Rivera on to attempt the extra point. Remember, his last one was blocked. And we get plenty of motion and flags before this one. Encroachment against the Red Raiders. We'll move Leominster about a yard closer.
From the 3 to in between the 1 and the 2, that was Ewell, who was jumping on the right side. Took a few steps over, then he stepped back, realizing, oh, I've done a bad.
Blue Devils decide not to switch it up. They'll just scoot themselves a little bit further forward, try the kick again. Very high snap. Got to improvise here. Under pressure and going to be dragged down deep in the backfield is Rivera. The long snapping on extra points is pretty much the only thing Leominster needs to work on. They lead this game 12-0 with 8:44 to play here in the first quarter. While we have a moment, let's take this time to thank the underwriters who bring you this and every remote production here on FATV.
Fitchburg Access Television's remote productions are brought to you in part by Rollstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, All One Credit Union, The Sentinel and Enterprise, Minuteman Press, and Unitil.
12-0 Leominster, 8:44 to play here in the first quarter. Leominster's offense, Dan, has run 4 plays, and they have 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, right now the receivers are making it look easy. Didn't have a chance to say it, but on that last conversion attempt, Elijah Rivera does have a 2-point conversion on a botched snap this season, so it was doable for him to get in there, but just not that time.
Another short bouncing kick taken in by one of the blockers for the Red Raiders. Gets it out to about the 39-yard line. That's Justin Medina on the return. We saw a fair bit of Medina this past Saturday as part of the Chicken Bowl.
In terms of esteemed guests who have made their way to Doyle Field, longtime Fitchburg State head coach of ice hockey, Dean Fuller, is here today.
I thought that was who you were chatting with just now.
Yep.
Always good to see Coach Fuller.
Yep. Falcon ice hockey team is 5-1 this year. 41st year head coach. He was a longtime teacher at Fitchburg High School.
Of course, we'll have coverage of Fitchburg State University hockey as well as Fitchburg Bonnie Tech and other local teams here on FATV in the new year. First down play action fake. Collins wants to keep it himself. Blue Devils read that one very well, however. Mika Powell, Nate Hankins, among a great many Blue Devils in the Fitchburg backfield. It's a loss of 2 for Collins.
They'll try the play action to go heel, but you can already see a couple of Blue Devils had broken in to the backfield. Powell was the first to arrive. Hankins was there. Hankins, a former Red Raider. He transferred over to Leominster a couple of years ago.
Ben Marchetti in there as well for Leominster. As Fitchburg offense, Dan, it's got to be a little bit nervous-making for them right now. They can feel this game slipping away from them. Leominster, obviously very potent. They're already down by 2 scores. They need to get something on this drive if they want to stay in it. Play action fake. Collins rolls to his right, under pressure, throws. That pass is short and intercepted. Picked off on the near side by Ben Marchetti. The sophomore linebacker jumps in front of the route, picks that one off. We'll get a great look at it here from behind the left side end zone. Collins not able to get as much behind that pass as he wanted. You see Marchetti definitely gets his feet inbounds. It's a clear interception. And as if the Blue Devils needed the break, they take over in Fitchburg territory.
Don't hate the idea to pass there. Obviously, the running game's not going anywhere right now for the Red Raiders, so try to go to the air, but that time just underthrown with all the pressure, and Marchetti's got the pick.
First down handoff goes to Aramis Reyes. He's across the 40, down at about the 37-yard line. Gain of 5 for him. We'll call it 2nd down and 5 for the Blue Devils.
And Aramis Reyes has been the next back up, basically. 350 yards on the ground this year, 3 touchdowns. There have been some drives this season in which Xavier Core has taken off entirely. Reyes would get in there, take the snaps on that drive, or take the handoffs, if you will, and then that would give Core a chance to rest for later in the game when they would need him.
Miguel Gonzalez had the tackle on that play for Fitchburg. Big defensive tackle. Raiders with a 3-4 defense. Lopez takes the snap on 2nd down. Hands off to Reyes. He bounces it out to the right side. He's got blockers. He's along the far side. Dan, stop me if you've heard this before. 2 plays, 6 points.
Aramis Reyes with the great footwork. It's his 4th touchdown on the ground this season. We are not even halfway through the first quarter. It's the 3rd touchdown of the contest for the Blue Devils.
When they handed it off, like, I had the thought in the back of my head, oh, it's not going to be a touchdown this time. I've kind of liked that running gag. Oh, well. Oh, well, indeed. Just tremendous blocking, great vision by Reyes, following those blocks, finding the hole, getting it into the end zone. 18-0. The Blue Devils are on top. Couple of failures on extra points. Blue Devils decide to go for 2. Reyes wants the octopus. He'll turn it up to the right side, and he has 8 legs, 8 points, 20-0 in favor of the Blue Devils. Aramis Reyes, the senior, had 3 touchdowns coming into this game, as well as 5 2-point conversions. Make it 6 there, Dan. He went in untouched.
Oftentimes when they go for 2, that was something in the middle of the season with the kicking inconsistencies. They tried to switch it up and go for 2 most of the time. They'd often go with a 2 running back set. So you have 3 potential weapons to get into the end zone, and all 3 of them, whether it be Lopez, whether it be Cora, whether it be Reyes, all of them threats to get into the end zone.
Blue Devils had a lot of trouble with the snaps, as we said, on their first 2 extra points. The last one so bad that the kick wasn't even attempted. Folks, while we have a moment here, we want to remind you Giving Tuesday is this coming Tuesday, December the 3rd, 2024. And we'd ask that you consider supporting your local access station, helping us do all the things we do here at FATV. You can visit fatv.org/donate. Short bouncing kick taken in by Medina. He gets across the 40-yard line. Good return for him. It'll be pretty good field position for the Red Raiders. Fitchburg's offense, Dan, really hasn't been able to get anything going. We've seen Paul DiGeronimo be willing to go pretty deep into the playbook. Obviously, it's always tricky with the weather being what it is. The rain is falling. It is, I'm going to go ahead and describe it as bitterly cold now. But at some point, it's the last game of the season. It's Thanksgiving. It's the rivalry. You got to pull something out, don't you?
Try something a little different. I know Sean Sweetie has said that's like an old tradition in a sense, is pulling out some of the plays that you've never seen before.
Raiders will go empty formation. Jerome Best lined up on the near side slot. Savard comes in motion, fake the jet sweep to him. Collins will keep it himself. Gets a little bit to the left side, maybe back to the original line of scrimmage. No, they're going to call it a loss of a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11 for Fitchburg.
Tried to follow Bronia to the left side, but Hankins got in the backfield. Xavier Cora got into the backfield. And even if you tried to give it to Savard on the jet sweep, there's Gio DiMarzio right there who would have easily wrapped him up for a loss of more than the one that he lost there.
Raiders have tried it with Collins keeping himself a number of different ways. They really have, it's not just a two-man show on offense, but the two big guys to worry about are Zacchaeus Collins and Jerome Best. We've seen Best line up in the slot a number of times. He'll be in the slot again here. Ali Coheel in the backfield. Motion to the near side comes Masango Amate Nagabe. Collins will roll to his right, throws to his right for Best. It is incomplete, falls at his feet. And you see Dan Jerome Best is not happy with his quarterback. He immediately starts asking Collins where that ball was.
Definitely seems like Collins may be having a little bit of trouble with the strength there. You could see there was a Blue Devil there in Reyes who had a look at trying to maybe pull that one in, but let it go, and not going to hate the idea of picking that off when he sees that it lands a few feet in front of Best's feet. So we've seen Collins throw a few times. Well, 3 passes we've seen him throw. One was overthrown well out of bounds. The other 2 have been underthrown, picked and nearly picked.
Now 3rd down and 10. You figure Fitchburg will probably go to the air again. 3 receivers to the near side. Collins will roll to the near side. Under pressure, got to get rid of it. Throws to the sideline, pass is incomplete. Very nearly picked off again. Closest man to it was Xavier Cora. I think the pass was intended for Ali Coheel.
It was, and that was a case of Collins, he'll roll to the right, he'll try to run with it if he can get some room. He doesn't get room. He gets pressured all the way, as you'd expect. There's Mika Powell right on him. And at that point, it was half throw it to see if he can get it to Cahill, but half throw it away so he doesn't have to eat a sack. Just not much he could really do with that.
Alan Hall on to kick it away for the Red Raiders. Jadis Delgado back to return for Leominster. He'll set up at about his own 30. Hall puts a good leg into this one. It bounces at the 30. Delgado's just going to get away from it. Takes a bit of a Blue Devil roll. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. That's where Leominster's offense will take over. We've only seen 6 plays out of the Blue Devils today, Dan, but they look pretty good.
Yep, they have 166 yards of offense. The Raiders are on -1 right now.
That's not good. It is my expert opinion as a longtime commentator here on FATV. I don't have any formal education, of course. I never played the game. I never coached the game. Still, I feel as though when the other team is outgaining you 166 to -1, that is not good.
Not ideal.
Not what you want. Osiris Lopez from the pistol on 1st down, hands off to the near side for Cora. He breaks a tackle, gets across the 35-yard line, and is brought down at the 40. Gain of about 9 for him. It'll be 2nd and 1 for the Blue Devils.
55 yards on the ground. Of course, 119 through the air. It's Cora's 2nd touch of the day. Goes for 8 yards.
Good job by Alan Hall. He made the initial hit and then actually wrapped around Cora's leg. See, Cora's laboring rather significantly there, Dan. Osiris Lopez is actually signaling to the sideline. I'm a little surprised they're not calling timeout and substituting him, but he's going to stay in there.
Play clock's down to 5 seconds.
That's Thanksgiving for the Blue Devils, too. Cora clearly wants to be in there. Lopez comes to the line, really no urgency.
That was delay because they took too long.
So the first mistake of the game for the Blue Devils, aside from the snaps on the extra point. Backs them up 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and a long 6 coming up for the Blue Devils. Osiris Lopez from the pistol. Again, he's got Cora behind him. Play action fake, rolls to his right. Plenty of field in front of him. He's going long, wide open downfield, incomplete. It was intended for Richard Salomon Jr. Salomon just lost the ball, Dan. He got turned around every which way. Otherwise, this would have been another touchdown.
You may recall Richard Salomon Jr. was the lead receiver for the Red Raiders last year. He transferred to Leominster for this season, and they've used him pretty much exclusively on defense. He's taken a handful of snaps here and there on offense, but they've generally used him on the defensive side of the ball, has over 20 tackles on the campaign. He was wide open that time, but he overran the ball, had to come back to it, and wasn't able to get there.
First time today the Leominster offense has faced third down. It's the first time their offense has run 3 plays in a drive. Lopez going deep down the near sideline, this time incomplete. Just flat dropped by Juan Miranda. He had 2 steps on Luis Santos, 6 points in front of him. Unable to bring that one in, however.
Juan Miranda with 2 touchdowns. Both of them came against Milford back in the second game of the season. He's missed most of the season with injury. So this is his first game back. We actually heard that from Becky Curley, the flag football coach, when we were preparing for that game, that he was probably going to be fit to come back and play here on Thanksgiving, which will be his final game as a Blue Devil.
See him playing with that brace on his left arm. Blue Devils lined up as if to go for it, but Lopez backs up and he'll just boot it away himself. Ball takes a bit of a bounce in favor of the Blue Devils. It'll be down at about the 36-yard line. So Fitchburg's defense forces a stop. Had a little bit of help in doing it, but you know what? They'll take it. Leominster does not score. Fitchburg comes back out, trailing 20-0.
The immediate impression I get is that the Blue Devils are trying to better distribute the ball now, up to 3 scores. Try to see if they can get as many players the ball as possible, many different receivers. Like trying to find Solomon, who again hasn't had a catch this season as far as I know, and then trying to find Juan Miranda, who hasn't had a catch in many weeks because of injury.
Raiders take time out here, 3:21 to play first quarter. They're about to take over, down by 3 scores. It's got to be, obviously, Dan, it's got to be very frustrating, very dispiriting for Fitchburg. You win 2 games in a row, obviously against lesser competition, but still, you come into Thanksgiving on a bit of a hot streak. It is Thanksgiving, you're pumped up, you're excited for that, and then the first quarter's not even over and you're down 3 scores.
Yep. Going down like a lead balloon that is not made with extremely thin material to actually float, because I'm thinking of Mythbusters as I say that,
That's
too.
true. There was a Mythbusters episode. You can make a successfully floating lead balloon. You wouldn't want to try that. If you're going to go to that much effort, just use latex. It's easier.
Yep. And I imagine the toxicity of lead is not quite good either.
No, it is not. Some people are allergic to latex, though. Even in those instances, I think we're safe to say, don't use lead balloons. All right.
There we are, by the way.
You see the crowd has filled out a fair bit here at Doyle Field. Obviously, folks, we once again encourage you to come on down to Leominster, to Doyle Field, if you are able. If not, we're happy to have you here on FATV. First down play for the Red Raiders. The K.S. Collins pass to the near side is brought in by Jerome Best. He's got a catch and a first down into Blue Devil territory. Ball was thrown just over the outstretched grasp of Jadis Delgado. Jerome Best makes his first catch, and the Red Raiders have their first down of the day. Take another look.
We've seen this play a few times before, him rolling out to the right side, and Best has to come back to this ball a little bit, but you can see over the reach of Jadis Delgado, and that time Best, he's wide open. He's able to come back, gather that one in. It's a 17-yard reception and a first down for the Red Raiders.
Collins now will go under center. Amante Nagabe in motion. Handoff goes to Ali Coheel. He is driven backward. Couple of different Blue Devils were in there. Xavier Cora and Michael Walsh.
Cora has obviously been a contributor on both sides of the ball, have about over 25 tackles this season. Michael Walsh as well as a junior with over 15. They kind of stopped updating defensive numbers halfway through the season. Leominster did.
As you do. That's work, you know.
They kept the offensive numbers up to date throughout, so we at least have those.
Those are the fancy ones that people, I'm not going to say people care more about them, but people care more about them. So, I understand. 2nd down and 10 for Fitchburg. Cohiel was kind of leaning forward. Play action fake to him. Collins was looking downfield, nothing there. He's eventually pushed out of bounds by Nate Hankins. Senior D lineman had a couple sacks to his credit before, as you said, Leominster just kind of stopped reporting their defensive stats. I think they'll give him credit for another one here as he shoves the Fitchburg quarterback out of bounds.
Yeah, he completes the job there, get him to the 48-yard line of Fitchburg, so it's a 5-yard loss. And really, that was just, Collins looking downfield, didn't find anybody open, didn't find the comfort in trying to throw that ball because Hankins was right in front of him there, obscuring his view. Love how Mr. Douglas, he holds on to the football and keeps it dry, and then when they break the tackle and come up, he'll just throw the ball down and get position.
3rd down, 15 for the Raiders. Savard comes in motion, play fake to him. Collins pass to the left side is intercepted. 2nd pick of the day for the Blue Devils. This one caught by Owen Parlin. He's along the far sideline. He's got Blue Devils in front of him. 0 offensive plays, 6 points. It's a pick 6 for the Blue Devils. Owen Parlin, the junior, makes the pick on 3rd down, gets a convoy in front of him, takes it to the house. They get 4 touchdowns in this first quarter for the Blue Devils.
And if you look at my stat book, there's just a big old blank next to Parlin in terms of statistics. That's the first statistic of any type that I'm aware of this season, although again, defensive statistics are a big shrug, but nevertheless, big interception for the Blue Devils. They had 2 pick sixes last year at Fenway Park. They've got a pick 6 today, and they're up 26-0.
Try the extra point again, encouraging the snap to be low. It's a good snap, good hold. Kick is up, and it is good. 1:31 to play here in the first quarter. Leominster leads 27-0 over the Red Raiders of Fitchburg. Dan, after he made that pick, Owen Parlin just had one move to make. He was able to deke Allen Hall out in the open field, and then he had blockers in front of him and an open path to the end zone.
Leominster's done a great job with their downfield blocking this season as well, keeping themselves clean and creating paths and opportunities for their players to get big yards after the catch, big runs. A lot of big plays for this Blue Devil offense. We've mentioned that they average 35 points a game this season. They're high this year, 65 against Wachusett. That wasn't running up the score. That was a 65-49 game.
That was a heck of a game.
It was 49-49 early in the 4th.
Back on October 18th. That victory over number 13 Wachusett.
13 seed in Division I. I had some words when I saw the box score for the first time. I'm not allowed to repeat them on this television station.
I mean, you're allowed. It's just, if you say them, will you be allowed back on TV? And that's the real question. A lot of trouble with the kickoff here. Nobody able to get their hands on it for the Red Raiders. It's ultimately fallen on for Leominster by Michael Walsh. Everything, Dan, that could go wrong for Fitchburg is going wrong. Trouble on the kickoff this time. Torres tries to pick it up and run with it rather than just jumping on it. He's not able to get the handle. Michael Walsh jumps on it. And now, as if they needed yet another break, Leominster just got a pick 6 and they get the ball deep in Red Raider territory.
Yep. It's not going well.
Now Fitchburg will take time out just to catch their breath. Dan, the last time the Fitchburg defense was on the field, they got a stop. They were down 20-0. They stopped Leominster, and then they've seen their offense give it away for a pick 6. Their kickoff unit unable to hold on to the ball, turn it over deep in territory that they have to defend. Now Leominster has it in the red zone, looking for a 5th touchdown in this first quarter.
We've talked about it this year, the challenge with the numbers, with the experience. You look at this Leominster team, 17 seniors, 20 juniors, 32 sophomores. For the 4 freshmen. For the Red Raiders, they have 48 players. that are eligible to play varsity football. Only 15 upperclassmen, 7 seniors, 8 juniors. Very young team, needed to get a mid-level waiver to get 8th graders to play JV. We saw that mismatch during the Chicken Bowl last week, in which a lot of juniors and seniors for the Blue Devils, over 110 in their program. The Raiders just have the 64 between them going back down to the 8th grade, and their players 2-3 years younger struggling in that way. As there's Cora going to the left side, and Cora is in for a touchdown. This time 1 play, 1 score. The Blue Devils haven't done that yet. And it's 33-0.
A little bit of misdirection on the handoff. Osiris Lopez took the snap, went to his right, and then handed it back to Cora going left. You see the counter step by him. Great blocking by the Leominster offensive line, especially Nicholas John Grande, setting that edge, creating the hole. Off goes Xavier Cora into the end zone. Another high snap on the extra point. Now trouble. Pitch it back to the kicker, trying to make something happen. Pump, throw for the end zone is batted down and incomplete. Leominster has a lot in the playbook for these busted snaps on extra points. None of it's worked so far, but it's a credit to them for trying.
I mean, that was obviously not the plan, but I mean, it's quite impressive they were even able to salvage a passing attempt out of that.
Rivera's pass fell incomplete. So the 2-point conversion attempt, we'll call it, is no good. Take another look at it here. Well defensed for Fitchburg by Zacchaeus Collins. Fitchburg's quarterback also playing defensive back, as one does.
Mentioned last time out against Grand Dunstable, he had a game-high 12 tackles, 6 solo tackles, and he had an 82-yard pick 6. Collins has been one of the leaders on defense as well for the Red Raiders, wearing those distinctive orange cleats as well.
Powell will kick it away for the Blue Devils. It's another low bouncing thing, rolls to the 30 and is finally dropped on there by the Red Raiders. That was Lucas Savard with the recovery. So Fitchburg's offense, Dan, will come back out. Fitchburg has not yet scored a point through all of rivalry week. They were outscored 45-0 in the girls flag football game, 34-0 in the Chicken Bowl. It is already 33-0 here on Thanksgiving. I can do basic arithmetic. That's 112-0 that Leominster has outscored Fitchburg here in rivalry week. Not what you want.
It's been one of those challenges. We've been talking about it.
Collins will come back out. Still plenty of time for Fitchburg to get on the board here. 44 seconds left in the first quarter. Collins under center. Handoff goes to the right side. Ali Coheel with the carry. Might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Wrapped up by a couple of different Blue Devils. Gio DiMarzio in among them.
They won't even give them to the line of scrimmage. The run offense has been challenging for the Red Raiders. They have 7 rushes for -3 on the contest. The Blue Devils have just been doing so well at breaking into the backfield.
You mentioned, Dan, our umpire, Dave Douglas, keeping the ball dry, holding a towel over it. You actually get a chance to see it there as we come to the end of the first quarter, 33-0 in favor of Leominster. Teams will change sides. And Dan, you mentioned our dear friend Ken Jones. We played a tribute to him before the game. He was a big contributor to a number of different programs in Fitchburg, but of course Inside Fitchburg was very special to him. We had Inside Fitchburg on a motorcycle, that beautiful piece put together by Ken Jones. You were able to edit that, and that will be airing here on FATV. You see there Friday, that's tomorrow, Black Friday, 6 o'clock. Also Saturday at 9 o'clock, and a 9 a.m. showing Sunday, December 1st. But of course, it's always available on demand on your phone, again, through the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, your streaming apps, or online at fatv.org/public.
So many different ways to watch, and really go back in time. 25 years, 1999 is when Ken went around. Obviously, GoPros were many, many years away from existing. I mean, it's so easy to do it now, but using the technology of the time really brings a lot more of skill and makes it a little more impressive showing to my eye.
Fitchburg High School Marching Band in attendance, of course, here at Doyle Field. They're trying to inspire their offense to get back into this game. And as we get ready for the second quarter here with the play-by-play is Dan Bolek.
Second and 11 for the Red Raiders. 71 yards from goal. Savard goes in motion. He won't take it. Instead, it'll be Collins trying to cut up the middle. Xavier Cora once again getting into the backfield. Spins Collins down to the ground. It's a loss of another yard.
The Raiders have faked that handoff to Savard so many times, Dan. At some point, you got to think they actually do it, right?
I'd like to think that.
You know, the play action it's only going to inspire a team to take it. They're only going to bite on that play fake if they think you're willing to go for it. So, wouldn't be surprised to see Fitchburg do it at some point, although not necessarily here on 3rd and 12.
Collins has thrown for over 600 yards this year. He's run for over 600 this year. Here's 3rd down and 12. Tucks it, runs to the left. Cora broke in and nearly got him from behind. Instead, Collins able to cut up the left side hash marks. Gets wrestled to the ground by J.R. Wilson Jr. It's a gain of a few yards, but not nearly enough for a first.
I don't think that was a designed quarterback run so much as it was Collins was under pressure pretty much immediately. As you said, Dan, Cora was able to burst into the backfield, kind of break that one up. Collins took off, got what he could, but he was unable to pick up the first down, and Alan Hall will need to kick it away.
J.S. Delgado back to receive this punt. He's not going to return it, not going to have the chance. It will bounce in his general direction, but nobody likes to pick up a bouncing ball. They say it's poison. That'll be down at the 36-yard line of Leominster. 32-yard punt for Hall.
Raiders have done a good job keeping the punts away from Delgado. Obviously, he's a big play threat whenever he gets his hands on the ball. Had a big touchdown reception on Leominster's second play from scrimmage. One of 5 touchdowns the Blue Devils scored in the first quarter.
J.S. Delgado has a touchdown catch. Ryan Ricker's got a touchdown catch. Xavier Cora's got a touchdown run. Aramis Reyes has a touchdown run. And this time it's going to be Reyes on first down, trying to go up the middle. He gets wrapped up by 4 different Red Raiders. Casiano Pedroza was one in there, Manuel Yule another, and many more.
Saw Lionel Jinley as well, the sophomore, or senior rather, my apologies.
It's a 4-yard gain for Reyes to the 40-yard line. He's got 3 carries for 46 yards in this contest. 2nd down and 6 coming. Blue Devils swing it out to the right side, and R.J. Solomon's got that catch. He'll come up the near side, stay in bounds, now cutting to the middle of the field. The 45 to the 40-yard line, and another first down for the Blue Devils.
That's great 2nd, 3rd, and 4th effort by Solomon. Just a quick swing pass to the near side. He's got 1 blocker in front of him, but he's got to make guys miss pretty much immediately. Ducks out of a tackle there, pushes a man aside. Just finding the hole, running through it, evading the grasp of the Red Raiders before he's finally wrapped up and tackled into Fitchburg territory.
39 yards from goal are the Blue Devils. 3 minutes gone in the second quarter. They lead by 33. Out of this base pistol formation. Swing pass to the left side. This is Juan Miranda. He's got his first catch of the day. He's at the 30, the 25, the 20, 15. Finally shoved out of bounds around the 10-yard line. It was Jerome Best who was able to get him out of bounds. But it's another first down for the Blue Devils and another big gain.
Leominster has had great success, Dan, with this just quick base pass to the far side. It's good. It's a credit, if I can get my words out. It's a tremendous credit not only to the speed of their receivers, but the blocking ability. That time you saw Ryan Ricker well downfield throwing a block. If you're able to hit that receiver on the quick hitter and he's got a blocker in front of it, it's a very easy pass for your quarterback, and then it's going to be a big chunk of yardage just like it was there. Now 1st and goal for Leominster.
Lopez 5 of 7 for 170 yards through the air today. They don't always have to be home run passes. 1st and goal for the Blue Devils. It'll be Reyes up the middle. Aramis Reyes was met by Collins and Beston, wrestled down around the 2-yard line.
For the most part, this rushing attack for the Blue Devils hasn't been explosive. They've had a couple of big plays, but for the most part, it's just been 5-6 yards at a time. And obviously, you know, these goal-to-goal situations, it's so important for the defensive line not to allow any penetration. And the Blue Devils will take time out here.
Be their first timeout, 7:35 to go in the first half. Blue Devils up by Larry Bird.
And folks, we mentioned once before, but we want to remind you once again that this coming Tuesday, December the 3rd, is Giving Tuesday, and we would ask that you at least consider your local access station as part of that. You can go to fatv.org/donate and help contribute to all of the events and all of the work that we're proud to do here at Fitchburg Access Television. Obviously, it's not just the tremendous work on these remote sports productions, it's studio shows, it's classes, it's so many things at FATV, and you can be part of supporting that. Again, go to fatv.org/donate this Giving Tuesday, December the 3rd, or anytime, really.
We accept donations all 365 days of the year.
That's true. We're only so proud.
2nd down and goal for the Blue Devils. Lopez in the pistol with man going in motion. It's going to be that shovel pass forward to Juan Miranda. Now he's got a double back, and he gets taken down in the backfield. I think that was Lionel Ginlay who was able to make that tackle, or was it?
I had it as Masango Amate Nagabe. We'll take another look. I think you were right, Dan. Just coming in from behind, taking down Miranda. It was good job by the rushers on the left side to contain him, force him to reverse field. And then Ginlay was there to make the hit.
Just lost the 9 yards. Reyes got on 1st down. Now it's 3rd down. Ewell was pressuring there, but the throw out to the left side goes to Jack Reed, and he dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Blue Devils, and a flag flies at the very end of that.
I think Jack Reed hit him with the Marshawn Lynch as he went into the end zone, which is, I think that falls under taunting.
Yeah, the Marshawn Lynch is not advised at the high school level.
It's rude. There's only so many ways you can do it. And listen, that's the reason he did it. But we'll take another look here. This is a design screen. I think the Raiders are just bringing all sorts of pressure. Lopez does a good job backing up and showing it. And then you see as he goes into the end zone.
Well, it's not quite the Marshawn Lynch, but it's not much better.
It's not the full Lynch.
That extra point misses to the left, and so we'll stay at 39-0. If you want to know what the Marshawn Lynch is, I don't want to describe it on television, but...
we've all seen the Beastquake. Yeah. The thing he did at the end of the Beastquake. There you go. There are children watching. Children, don't Google Beastquake. Non-children, Google Beastquake. It's a great play. There.
You know what's funny? The first time I ever saw that clip, they actually had the video freeze just as he was doing the thing at the end. So that's the safe for work version.
I believe that, yep, absolutely.
And for years, I didn't understand why.
Saw Paul DiGeronimo, sorry to cut you off, Dan, but we saw Coach DiGeronimo pointing downfield, indicating that they would absolutely back the Blue Devils up those 15 yards.
Yeah, Bill Gates on the sideline as well, son of the father of Devin.
That's right, father of Devin Gates.
Yep, and he was a longtime contributor on Inside Fitchburg, co-hosted with Joanne Hughes for many, many years. So obviously got to work with Ken.
Longtime president of the board of directors here at FATV. One of my favorite memories, Dan, actually involves Bill Gates here on FATV.
We'll get to that in a moment as the kickoff will go to Luis Santos at the 38-yard line. He'll cut up to the middle of the field, Russell down at midfield.
So back when the Longs Joe Classic was regularly happening here in Fitchburg, you know what, Dan? I think we will save that story for another time because we have a very special guest joining us here on the near sideline from Doyle Field in Leominster. The one-time voice of these Leominster Blue Devils, now the Fitchburg Athletic Director, Todd Robbins is here with us. Todd, thank you for being here. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, gentlemen. Great to see you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Never miss an opportunity to make an appearance with you and Dan. And thank you guys for being out here, fighting the elements. I've been here. I've lived in the makeshift press boxes before. You guys are doing a fantastic job despite the weather.
And Todd, obviously, you're still relatively new to the position of athletic director here in Fitchburg. What does this Thanksgiving mean to you, obviously having come to it from the media perspective, but now being part of it, representing one of these schools?
It is the biggest honor of a career move that I've made to hold a position like this, knowing in this city where only 9 other people, me being the 9th, so 8 other people have held this position in a over 100-year history of this athletic department. When you put that into general context, it's rather awe-inspiring every day, and that's the difference. I talk about it frequently. Anytime you compare, the job here or in Leominster to any of our other colleagues, even in the Midwatch League, most of them are newer schools. They are not as history-laden. Their athletic department's not as old. You don't get the portraits of former athletic directors and members of the teams that you do here, and so it's just to be a part of that history and to represent it. It's my honor. I said last night, it's humbling.
Absolutely. First down, Coheal got nothing. Second down, Collins ran to the left side, got 1 yard. 3rd and 9 coming.
So Todd, as you've come into the position of athletic director at Fitchburg, obviously, as we mentioned, you were the former voice of the Blue Devils, so you've seen it from the Leominster side as well. What's your relationship like with Leominster High School? Obviously, there's a bit of coordination that goes into this. What's your interplay with the Leominster AD, for instance?
So long before, obviously, I took this role, the Fitchburg and Leominster, sort of the great, secret of it all from an athletic director perspective, they've always worked together. This rivalry only works when you have a dancing partner on the other side. So, the athletic directors have always, going back historically, worked very closely together in all of the planning and the execution. And as you can imagine, last year with the Fenway game, that was sort of the trial by fire, and we worked very, very closely together.
What was it like making that happen? How did that all come together last season?
My first day on the job. Okay, literally my first day in the office. My first day, on the job. That was when we got the phone call.
Hey Todd, congratulations on the job. By the way, we want to do something we've never done before.
Yep.
Go.
It's hard to top when Fenway calls on your first day, and that's not an exaggeration. It was legitimate.
So they approached you, basically.
Yes, 100%.
And was that just out of the blue?
They had tried 2 other times, and it wasn't the right time for the series. Last year, it was the perfect time for the series, and you know what? It led to a tremendous event. And as awesome as it was, and as historic as it was, there is nothing better than being back in Fitchburg and Leominster on a Thanksgiving Thursday morning, kicking off at 10 a.m. As I said in our social media, marketing today, where else would you want to be? In the years where this series has been delayed off of the Thursday and moved to one of the other days, whether it be Saturday, or Wednesday night 1 year in 2018. The truth of the matter is, Thursday morning, that parade, on another channel, on your dial, not near as exciting as being at a football game. And that's what makes Massachusetts high school sports special. That's what makes Massachusetts sports special. And having the opportunity to play on a Thanksgiving morning, there is no place I want to be other than at Crocker Field or Doyle Field.
Absolutely agree. Fenway was nice once, but it's very great to be back here.
First down and 10 for the Blue Devils. Xavier Cora's got another solid run past midfield, and another first down for the Blue Devils. It's their 8th of the contest.
Fantastic run by Cora. Went along the left side, got into Fitchburg territory. Now, Todd, I do happen to have a roster here. You've done this before. We've called games together here on FATV.
We have, and let's dig those out of the archives. By the way, there's some really good, classic Fitchburg State action with John Gugerty and Todd Robbins on the call.
A much squeakier John Gugerty, I believe. But if I give you this roster, can you call this play?
Sure, absolutely.
All right.
Lopez, shotgun formation, snap back, handoff. It's Xavier Cora, bounces it off the left side of the formation, down the left sideline, 20, 15, 10, and angled out of bounds inside of the Fitchburg 10-yard line and down around the 7.
Never lost a beat.
Yep. Now, I don't know how much of the viewing audience knows this, but on the weeks that the Red Raiders have been off, I've been basically trying to fill your shoes on the Leominster side, so I've called quite a few Blue Devils games this season.
I appreciate it. No, there are definitely times, that I certainly miss the opportunity to call play-by-play, whether it's a Fitchburg or a Leominster game. It's an incredibly special opportunity and relationship to hold these positions as well, and to be able to tell the stories of these student athletes. And I find myself trying to do that as much as I can through our marketing and social media, but it's a little different as Cora bounces off left end and trots into the end zone for another Leominster touchdown. Tremendous running back. Offensively, obviously, this blue and white team this year, just an offensive juggernaut.
A high of 65 points this season. They've got 45 here in this first half. As Xavier Cora gets his second touchdown of the contest, it's his 11th touchdown on the ground this season. 45-0. It's Pedro Martinez who was the last Red Sox to wear number 0?
That's a good question. I don't know off the top of my head. While you look that up, how about that? I did want to say, as the extra point attempt here is up and good, making it 46-0. Todd, from our perspective in the media, it's been revelatory since you've taken over as athletic director. You've been very kind, very generous, very welcoming, not only to us here at FATV, but we've noticed it across the board, just the little touches at Crocker Field. It's very much appreciated.
Oh, thank you very much. No, as I said, I've been there. I've literally, I think about, all the trips to Shepherd Hill and, having to build a press box at Carmagnati Field where, at that time, they still don't have a press box, and so I know what it's like to have to be in one of these tents and be out in the weather and, looking for rosters and those sorts of things, and for years, obviously, I was chasing athletic directors. So there's nothing more than I want to do is make your jobs as easy as humanly possible because I've been on that end of this conversation.
Yeah, I was in Milford earlier this year. We got kicked out of the press box there. We had to broadcast from the top of the stands, but we were the ones laughing at the end because Leominster won while the two other broadcast groups covering for Milford lost. So we got the last laugh in that one, but even to call a game like in the middle of the stands, in the whole run of things, if you will, it's its own experience.
And to have, obviously, all of the volunteers. And this staff here at FATV, incredible. What you guys do week in and week out, whether it's, Fitchburg High School sports action, Fitchburg State University, all the city and town meetings, events, everything that's going on in this community, and the fact that it is available for people who can't make it to any of those events, and some people just can't. That's what makes this important. It's funny now, I get to, hear these conversations, people will walk up to me, since these games have been on TV, it's never been the same. And while, yes, on a day like today when it's raining, I'm sure people woke up this morning and decided, do I want to go down to Doyle Field, or is it easier to just stay with my turkey and baste it at a routine basis and watch it from the dry, area of my house? Sure. But you know what? At the end of the day, and here's the important part, we're serving this group, and Leominster TV on the other side are serving a population of people that don't get to make that choice, that they can't get out of the house and be a part of this action each and every week. And so to have you guys here, it's an incredible service to our community. And you know what? They come to the wrong athletic director if they're looking for somebody to badmouth the existence of broadcast, whether it's TV, radio, or otherwise.
First down, here's the Zacchaeus Collins going up the middle. About a 13-yard gain on first down. Second first down of the day for the Red Raiders.
Again, we're joined by Todd Robbins, athletic director in Fitchburg. And Todd, obviously Thanksgiving, the end of the football season for the Red Raiders, but that does not mean the end of athletics. There are plenty of other sports here in Fitchburg.
This doesn't even mean the end of athletics in the next week. I was going to say, we got a few days off, and then Monday, always the Monday following Thanksgiving, in the current schedule, and this is the way it's been, for decades upon decades, the Monday following Thanksgiving is the start of the winter season. So this year it's December 2nd, tryouts for basketball kickoff on Monday after school. school. Indoor track will be out there practicing after school. It's incredible how fast things just turn. There is no stopping the freight train that is interscholastic athletics.
Yep, select athletes from Fitchburg High School will be participating with Monty Tech in ice hockey and wrestling as well this year.
That's correct, 100%. And you know, we're super excited, you know, to see this continue and to see this really grow, right? At the end of the day, and I want people to keep things in mind here, as you know, look at the score and you're sitting there at home going, oh my God, you know, this is so lopsided. And, you know, I've seen this happen in other series. I've seen it happen in, you know, St. Peter Marion and St. John's. I've seen it happen in other series over the years. But I need people to really hone in on what you see in the historic table of games. It's available in our game program that's on the social media accounts of Fitchburg Athletics right now. When you look at the runs and streaks in this series, yeah, you do sometimes go decades without one team beating the other. That's not unusual by any stretch of the imagination, but you have to also look from a timing standpoint. Where are people in their arc, right? Leominster is in an arc right now where they have a tremendous Division I quality quarterback, and that, in today's day and age, brings student athletes to want to live in Leominster, families that want to live in Leominster and want to play, obviously, in Leominster's, you know, football program and in other places. But not long from now, that could be going the other way. He can't be here forever. He will graduate. And when that time happens, we've got a really young, hungry group of sophomores, freshmen, and 8th graders that have been a part of our JV program all year long that are poised to continue to grow. And I believe as we hit the back end of our 5-year plan to put things back together, we will be in year 4 and 5 when things are changing in the blue and white world. And that is going to be our time from a red and gray perspective to start catapulting ourselves forward. It takes time, it takes patience, but we did not get into these troubles overnight. We will not get out of them overnight either. And so I want the red and gray faithful to sit there, hang in there, support these student athletes. They are giving everything they can, day in and day out, along with our coaching staffs. I am so fortunate, as I said yesterday, humbled and grateful to hold this position and really try to remind people the importance of what it is we're doing every day. And more than anything else, more than what we're putting up on the scoreboard each and every week, what we're trying to do is create really great human beings who are prepared for life when they follow high school.
Todd Robbins, the athletic director of Fitchburg Public Schools. Thank you so much for being here, Todd.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Bands at halftime. You guys have a lot of fun. Great broadcast for the rest of the day. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Same to you, Todd. Thank you.
Thank you.
So happy to be joined by Todd Robbins. We've reached halftime here at Doyle Field. It is 46-0 in favor of the Blue Devils, but the combined Leominster and Fitchburg marching bands will be performing momentarily. Don't go away. You don't want to miss a moment of this incredible performance. Dan and I will take the halftime break with the players, but we'll be back with the third quarter. It's the 144th meeting of the rivalry here on FATV.
Please welcome the Fitchburg High School Marching Band. is sponsored by Domination Plumbing and Heating. We are your HVAC contractor expert plumbers. We're awarded the best plumber in Leominster.
Back here in Leominster, it is halftime of the 144th meeting of the rivalry. Leominster leads Fitchburg 46-0 here on FATV. Dan, just a dominating first half performance by the Blue Devils.
327 yards of offense for the Blue Devils. Of course, led by Osiris Lopez, 7 for 9, 172 yards and 3 scores through the air. Leading runner for the Blue Devils is Jadis Delgado, who's got 2 carries for 62 yards. One of those went for a 52-yard touchdown. Ryan Ricker has 57 yards. He did that on just 1 carry. For the Red Raiders, they have 32 yards of offense. Zacchaeus Collins has 18 on the ground for the Red and Gray. Kickoff goes to the near side, taken in by Luis Santos. He'll be tripped up at the 35-yard line.
Was Elijah Rivera, ordinarily the place kicker, but one of the tacklers on the kicking unit for the Blue Devils.
Yep.
Again, we want to thank Todd Robbins, the athletic director here in Fitchburg, for joining us for the second quarter, taking time out of his busy Thanksgiving here in Leominster.
Yep. You may notice the clock is already running, even though that last play came to an end. That is because the Blue Devils lead by more than 42 points at the interval, and a lead of 42 or greater at halftime leads to mercy being declared. So we will have a running clock for the entire second half of this contest, as Zacchaeus Collins has trouble with that snap on first down. Has to eat that one and lose 8 yards.
Stinks for Fitchburg to take such a negative play, but that snap, Dan, I think actually hit one of the other men in the backfield for Fitchburg before it even got to Collins. There was nothing he could do about it. We saw Fitchburg have trouble earlier in this game handling a ball on the ground, try to pick it up and run with it. Collins, faced with no good options, took the least bad one there, dived on the ball. It's a loss of about 8. It'll be 2nd and 18 now for Fitchburg.
Takes it back to the 28-yard line as Medina and Coquille will go from left side to right. Collins goes to the right and will have to keep it himself. He gets held up by Walsh, but carrying Walsh on his back for a couple of yards, gets to the 30-yard line, so a little bit of positive yardage comes out of it.
And really, that is what this second half is going to be about for Fitchburg, Dan. It's about finding the positives where you can, getting some kind of offensive momentum going. Obviously, the game is done as a contest, but Fitchburg is still here to play. They still have pride. They still want to get points on the board. For a lot of the guys, especially the seniors on this team, Dan, this is going to be their final game, so they want to go out on as good a note as they can.
Absolutely. You want to try to find positive somewhere, anywhere, really. 3rd down and 15 to go. Have to get to the 45-yard line for a fresh set of downs. 3 receiver set. Alan Hall goes in motion to the right side. Collins will roll to the right, get a throw off to Hall, but it is short and bounces into the turf, incomplete.
Hall had gotten open. There was no real Blue Devil presence around him. The pass, unfortunately, from Collins just a little bit behind him. See Hall going out to that far flat. Had a couple blockers in front of him. Pass behind him falls incomplete. Fitchburg will kick it away.
Collins is just 1 of 7 through the air today. The rain has really been dampening his passing performance. Jadis Delgado ready to take this kick in at the 45-yard line of Leominster. Hall taking his time, squaring it up, getting the kickoff. It strikes a Raider in Jones and then ricochets downfield. So I think they'll give him the spot of where it hit Jones and not where it ended up, which would be around the 46-yard line.
Move it forward a few yards. Osiris Lopez will stay out. It'll be interesting to see how long Devin Gates chooses to keep his first unit offense on the field.
Yep. I'm pretty sure we saw Jediel Melendez last week in the Chicken Bowl. I don't believe Melendez has seen the field this season. I think it's always been Osiris Lopez, no matter what the score is for the Blue Devils. 1st and 10 for Leominster. It's a run up the middle for Aramis Reyes. Goes nowhere fast.
Not much doing there for Reyes. Good work for Fitchburg coming in from the right side. Jaden Jones with the tackle.
It's a 2-yard loss for the Blue Devils. 2nd down, we'll say 12.
One of the things Todd Robbins was talking about during our segment with him in the second quarter, there's so much youth on this Fitchburg side. They're only going to get better as the years go by.
To midfield, Reyes is able to go. We do have a flag thrown by Mr. Bill Goslin, our referee today.
Haven't been too many flags. I think, is this the first flag that came as a result of just bad play?
Yeah. We'll call the block in the back there.
Take a look at it again, see if we can spot it on the replay here. You've got hand on the back right there. I think they got Vittorio Piermarini, the freshman offensive lineman. Might have also been on Delgado, actually. We got confirmation from the truck that it was Jadis Delgado who committed the infraction. So now he's got a touchdown catch and a penalty to his name on Thanksgiving.
2nd and 18 from the 38-yard line. Will be another run. Got to the left side now, trying to cut up the left side hash mark, staying on his feet. Took Collins to drive in there to really take him down. That was Reyes again.
Musango Amate Nagabe will have to check out. His face mask actually came half detached from his helmet. You don't see that all the time.
Gonna need some maintenance quick there on that.
It's like the top bar of his face mask just became separated. Almost looked like it was folded in half.
You don't see that every day or very much ever.
See John Hartwell Cormier checking in. He'll replace Amate Nagabe.
If Hartwell Cormier is a freshman, replacing the junior and Amate Nagabe. Little shovel pass forward for Juan Miranda coming end around, but it gets wrapped up. Cassiano Pedroza, Maximo Bronia, both in on that one.
Saw Leominster rather go with this play early in the game. I think it was their first play from scrimmage, the quick pass forward to Miranda. Now we saw Leominster look like they were going to go for it and then have the quarterback Lopez kick it away. This is the first time we've seen the actual punting unit for the Blue Devils. Elijah Rivera on to give it the boot.
Looks like it is Zacchaeus Collins who's standing at the 25-yard line ready to receive this. They'll go high in the air. Collins already says, I don't want it. And they'll let it roll to the 20-yard line. Mason Chester will down it there.
And while we have a moment, why don't we thank the underwriters who bring you this and all remote productions here on FATV.
Fitchburg Access Television's remote productions are brought to you in part by Rollstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, All One Credit Union, The Sentinel and Enterprise, Minuteman Press, and Unitil.
3:47 and counting to go in the third quarter. 46-0 the Blue Devils in front. This Leominster team, state quarterfinalists this year in Division I, beat Westford Academy. They actually beat them twice this year. Once in the regular season, then they happened to draw each other in the postseason. Same site, same everything, and ultimately the same result. Then they fell to Zavarian 2 weeks ago. Here's Collins on first down, getting wrapped up and taken down by his old teammate in Richard Solomon.
Saw Collins with a pat on the shoulder for his old teammate. It was interesting, Dan, to see Collins on the punt return. I don't think we've seen too much of that for the Raiders this season. He looked, I think a more experienced punt returner would have stepped up and tried to make a fair catch on that ball, but Collins didn't feel comfortable doing it. He let that ball bounce instead.
I think one of the interesting things is there have been very, very few punt returns by the Raiders this year, maybe even none. It's just a matter of, well, part of it is it hasn't happened very often. Another part of it is anytime it does happen, the punt's never good enough that you want to actually take it in and do anything with it. Second down, it's a run to the right. Like Coquille, trying to churn for more yardage, gets the 28-yard line for number 26. Or 23-yard line, so I can't count.
It'll be 3rd and 7 for Fitchburg nonetheless.
You know, the 25-yard lines are lined in blue. Part of it is aesthetics. Another part of it is useful for field hockey, which have the blue lines here at Doyle Field.
It needs to be something. It might as well be something thematically appropriate. I can't justify that for the 30-yard lines being red, but, you know.
I mean, that's a girls lacrosse line. And those are very relevant to those particular sports.
That's true.
3rd down, Collins tucking and running to the right side. Maybe thought for even a split second, maybe he could untuck it and try to throw, but isn't really able to do much of anything. Just tries to get to the flank, but Leominster follows him stride for stride. It's a loss of a yard.
You can't really make the untuck it decision in the moment. You have to know going in that you're going to buy one of those short shirts that you can wear without putting it in your pants.
Raiders ultimately unable to get a first down on this one. They have 2 in the contest. All ready to punt it away again.
See Collins on the sideline. Clearly frustrated, hasn't been the day he envisioned, but there will be more for him. He's just a sophomore.
All not being rushed, got to take his time on this. He'll take a Raider roll and then some, and he'll roll all the way to the 35-yard line. With the best punt of the day for Hall, 43 yards.
Leominster's offense will come out. Maybe time for them to run one more play before we reach the end of the 3rd quarter. And before we do, folks, we want to remind you this coming Tuesday, December the 3rd, is Giving Tuesday. And we would ask if you would consider donating to your local community access station. You can do so at fatv.org/donate and help support all the great work that we do here on FATV every single day.
Jadiel Melendez will, in fact, get a chance to take a snap on Thanksgiving. A varsity snap for him. Handoff goes to Michael Walsh on first down. Goes to the left, doesn't get much of anything. And that's 3-quarter time from Doyle Field. It's Leominster 46 and Fitchburg nothing.
Teams will change ends and we'll go to the other side for the 4th quarter. Not much doing for the Blue Devils in period number 3. See the rain continues to fall here at Doyle Field in Leominster. If anything, Dan, I think it is grayer now than it was when we started.
Yeah, it's definitely wetter than it was when we started.
It certainly is. It has been not the best weather day, but I have to say still a really impressive turnout. A lot of folks from Fitchburg and Leominster made the trip here to Doyle Field. There we are again situated on the near sideline under the FATV tent where it is dry, although I will confess it's a little cold. Just a little cold. And by a little, I mean very.
What shade of red are my fingers right now?
This is a lovely peach. Your index and your middle here, they're a lovely peach. Your left middle is legitimately concerning to me. You should find something to warm that up with, but we've got hot hands. It's fine. It's tough. We're football announcers. 4th quarter of play is underway here from Doyle Field. Michael Walsh gets the carry on 2nd down, gets across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Zacchaeus Collins in on the hit for Fitchburg. Collins is a little bit hobbled as he gets up, but he's under his own power and looks like he's going to remain on the field.
Just a standard run up the middle here, and this is the Blue Devil offense that hasn't really had a I mean, it's very rare to see the Blue Devil offense without number 3 there. But we've gotten to the point where we don't really need to see a Cyrus Lopez anymore today.
He had a good day, 4 passes in, I think. 3rd down handoff goes to Walsh. He's going to be brought down pretty much at the line of scrimmage. Met by Jaden Jones and driven down. Jones, one of those sophomore standouts on defense for Fitchburg.
I think Isaiah Solomon there, number 69. And then there's Maximo Brogna coming in there at the end.
And see, nice little pat on the head, pat on the ribs for both players. We'll have to see the sportsmanship here. Blue Devils will kick it away. Fitchburg's forced a couple of punts in a row. Alan Hall set back deep to return. No, that's actually Zacchaeus Collins. He's back at his own 30-yard line. Trouble on the punt. Unable to get it away was Rivera. He tucked and ran. Got back to the line of scrimmage no further than that. It's a turnover on downs.
Yeah, he didn't find the confidence in getting that punt off, so he just decided to try to put some moves on and improvise. Bit of a high snap, but you can see there was a great rush there by Solomon.
Solomon applied pressure. Ali Cohiel was the one who made the tackle eventually.
Yep, I think he just knew that when he saw Solomon coming straight at him. It's like, if I try to punt this, it's going to get blocked. I am going to not punt this.
So Fitchburg's offense gets it. 1st and 10 at the Leominster 39-yard line. Still 9.5 minutes to play in this one, even with the running clock. That's plenty of time for Fitchburg. Zacchaeus Collins and this Red Raider offense will try to put points on the board before they go have their Thanksgiving dinner. Amate Nagabe comes in motion. Handoff to the near side is to Cohiel. He gets out of 1 tackle and picks up a few yards on the near side. Gain of 3 for Cohiel. We'll call it 2nd down and 7 now for Fitchburg.
You know, these two teams, Fitchburg and Leominster being so local, a lot of these players have played against each other growing up, playing in similar leagues. So there's a lot of camaraderie. There's a lot of everybody knows everybody.
At a certain point, the score only matters so much. It's still Thanksgiving. It's still an incredible tradition. It's still an honor for all of these players to be here and to be playing in this game, just as it's an honor for Dan and myself to be bringing it here to you here on FATV. 2nd down, Collins will keep it himself, gets out of a tackle. He's got a 1st down and more, spins out of a hit at the 25, and he's driven down at the 23-yard line. 1st down, Fitchburg. Zacchaeus Collins has his best rush of the day. The Fitchburg offense is moving a little bit. We'll take another look at this one.
That direct snap, high snap, but Collins able to pull it down, get out to that right side. Many Blue Devils in on that tackle to stop him for a gain of 13. I believe he had another 13-yard run earlier in the contest. He's had a couple where he's been able to break through, get past the line of scrimmage, get a few yards.
Good downfield blocking by Justin Medina helped Collins pick up a few more yards. Now Fitchburg goes empty backfield, 1st and 10 from the Leominster 23. Amate Nagabe goes in motion. He's the blocker for Collins. Great blocking in front of him. Zacchaeus Collins has a 1st down again and more inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal for the Red Raiders.
Collins just continuing to take those steps, get those runs, hobbling a little bit towards the sideline.
He's been the primary ball handler on offense for Fitchburg and a standout on defense today. He's been all over the field, showing a bit of fatigue, but still out there, still making plays. He has his offense inside the 10 for the first time. 1st down and goal to goal. Ball spotted at the 8-yard line. Amate Nagabe now lines up as a tailback behind Collins. And he'll get the carry. Masango Amate Nagabe into the line. He's across the 5, brought down at the 4-yard line.
Obviously some allowances to be made to allow a man wearing number 55 to run the football like that.
Tackle made for Leominster by John Wilson.
It's not been the most alien thing in the world for the Raiders in past years to have a lineman run the football like that. Amate Nagabe's presence so desired that he needs to be wearing a lineman number. Now he's got another chance to score.
They want to give it to him. Masango Amate Nagabe is in. Touchdown, Red Raiders. A 4-yard touchdown run for the linebacker. Turned fullback, turned tailback. Straight through the gut, straight into the line. No one would bring him down until he crossed to the goal. Fitchburg's on the board. Alan Hall will attempt the extra point out of a hold from Collins. Good snap, good hold. Extra point is up, and it is good. 5.5 minutes to play in this one. Fitchburg has gotten themselves on the board. 46-7 is the score.
Yeah. Coming into today, Masango Amate Nagabe, 45 tackles, 6 tackles for a loss. He's been one of those defensive leaders for the Red Raiders. They'd be using him on offense today as a tight end, decide to put him in as a tailback for these last couple of plays. Looked pretty good doing that, just driving forward. And, that's a great reward for a kid who's worked so hard the last couple of years. He's a junior captain. He'll be back next year. Get him a touchdown here on Thanksgiving.
And you see him getting congratulations from the entire Fitchburg sideline. The Fitchburg side celebrates their touchdown. Mr. Touchdown plays here at Doyle Field.
Alan Hall with the extra point, the senior. Perfect 8 for 8 this season on extra points. Was able to retake the kicking job after injury to the original kicker, Zahir Chavez Hernandez, but Hall not letting it go. Said perfect 8 for 8. Some of them have been dramatic, but hey, they've all gotten over the crossbar and in between the posts, and that scores a point.
All it matters is that it's got to go through the big metal yellow U. As long as it does that, you're fine. Hall drives this kickoff into the ground, rolling and finally fallen on at the 25-yard line by Rivera. Rivera then got whacked. They're going to say that that was just a football hit, not necessarily late. Heard a bit of a groan from the far side, but no harm, no foul, I suppose.
I mean, at the end, Rivera was trying to pick up that football. It was really only, and I think Jones had already committed to trying to tackle him once Rivera realized, I'm not going to be able to pick this up. I'm just going to fall on it. It's one of those bang-bang decisions, and the officials, hey, we don't need to drag yellow handkerchiefs into this.
Leominster offense back out on the field. Low bouncing snap. Handoff goes to Walsh, trying to go to the right side. That play looked like it was dead from the start. Walsh with great second effort gets back maybe to the line of scrimmage. We'll call it 2nd down and 10.
That's been one of the positives for the Blue Devils this year, is just keeping plays alive, even though it looks like they're breaking up.
Good job by Melendez just to handle the bad snap, but it threw off the timing enough. Fitchburg's defense was able to get penetration into the backfield. Even the second effort by Walsh only meant that they got to the line. Call it a loss of 1, 2nd down and 11. Trouble at the snap again, ball's on the ground, and the Red Raiders have it. That ball never got back to Melendez. It was just sitting on the turf for a moment. Finally, a Red Raider pounced on it. John Hartwell Cormier is Johnny on the spot. Dan, I think the center just snapped that one directly into himself.
Just snapped it right into his legs, and it wasn't Hartwell Cormier who got it, but might have been Jones, might have been somebody else. I can't say with any certainty who got that ball.
Might have been Austin Rivas. I think I saw an 8 there.
Definitely was an 8.
There was an 8. We'll see. Point is, it's a recovery for Fitchburg, a chance for them to get back into the end zone. Minute 45 and ticking to play in this one. Handoff goes to Alan Hall on the jet sweep. He gets a block from Amate Nagabe. Tries to turn the corner. He gets a couple yards. Not much more than that. We'll see how much urgency Fitchburg has. They can't really stop the clock, even with their timeouts.
Yeah, calling a timeout would actually be tantamount to just ending the game. So, yeah, because timeouts do not stop the clock when mercy is declared, only injuries do.
Red Raiders decide to just play it cool, run their typical offense, not scramble for points, but obviously they would greatly enjoy getting into the end zone one more time as we approach 1 minute to play here on Thanksgiving. Collins from the shotgun. And we get whistles and flags, bit of motion before the snap. False start against the Red Raiders. They'll back them up 5 yards, burn some more time off that clock, and we may just have one more play left in this one.
Only the 5th accepted penalty in this contest. It's been a pretty clean one.
Dan, would you like some terrible news? As we get ready to start breaking down our equipment, it's raining harder now than it has all day.
Yeah.
Handoff goes to Luis Santos after the penalty. Tried the jet sweep going the other way. He's driven down after a gain of maybe a yard. Nick Joseph there on the hit for Fitchburg. Folks, one more time before we wrap this up on Thanksgiving, we do want to remind you, you can watch Inside Fitchburg on a motorcycle with the late, great Ken Jones. Airtime's there on screen, or you can find it on demand through all of our FATV channels. And that will bring us to the end of this 144th meeting of the rivalry. 46-7 in favor of Leominster is the final score. But it only matters so much, Dan. It's Thanksgiving, it's football, it's tradition. Even with the score what it is, it's tremendous to be here.
Yep. Also, actually less lopsided than last year's 59-7 game.
That's right.
But yeah, it's the rivalry. And, we mentioned, Todd Robbins mentioned there's a 5-year plan basically in place to try to rebuild this Red Raider team and the athletic programs up, and we're only in year 2 of that plan right now. There is time. There is a rebuild going on in Fitchburg right now. Talent is on the way, and as players from Leominster graduate and start to cycle through for Fitchburg, some of those players who are getting those extra opportunities, those freshmen, those sophomores, the 8th graders on JV who wouldn't normally get the opportunity to play, will become better at football as they will get the experience and the opportunities they wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And over time, over the next couple of years, this rivalry, these score lines in these particular contests may narrow a little bit.
Certainly something to watch. Fitchburg looking to improve in the years to come. Before we say goodbye, folks, we want to say a tremendous thanks to our crew here on FATV who have helped bring us these football telecasts all year long. Isaiah Manuel, Tyler Sargent, Robin Como on camera today, Travis Falk in the truck running graphics and replay for us, Nate Glennie, our director. I know I'm missing some, Dan, help me.
Yep, Todd Govan on replay today, and we also had a couple Fitchburg State students, Henry Christensen and Alex Febrile, who are here as well.
Thanks to all of them. Thanks to you folks at home for being with us. I know we've said it a lot, and I don't want it to sound like a cliche. For me personally, one of the things I am thankful for every Thanksgiving is the opportunity to bring the rivalry and to bring this game to you. Being here on FATV on Thanksgiving morning is truly one of the highlights of my season, and I am so thankful and appreciative of the opportunity to call this game and to work with you, Dan. You're pretty good at this.
Absolutely. It's early mornings. It's a bit of work for us, but you know what? It's work that's well spent and well performed. We all get up. We all try to come out here. We try to put on the best broadcast we can, and we hope you have been able to enjoy the last couple of hours as you get those turkeys ready for Thanksgiving, for the Thanksgiving feast.
We were so proud to be able to bring this game to you, as we are everything we do here on FATV, folks. Thank you so much for being here for the 144th meeting of the rivalry. And one more time, we do want to mention, obviously today is Thanksgiving. This coming Tuesday, December the 3rd, is Giving Tuesday. We would ask that you would consider supporting your local access station. You can go to fatv.org/donate for more information there. But final score for the final time here from Doyle Field in Leominster, 46-7 is the final in favor of the Blue Devils. For Dan Bolak and the entire FATV crew, I'm John Gugerty saying thank you so much for being here. Happy Thanksgiving. We will see you next time on FATV.